I'm Adam Calaway. I'm at Cattle Chat Corner at NCBA 2014. I'm here with Steve Whitmire. Steve, I want you to tell me a little bit about your operation.
I own Ridgefield Farm. We raise cattle, and then we also develop those cattle on into a beef animal that our marketing company, which I also own, Brasstown Beef, then markets to grocery stores such as Whole Foods and through Buckhead Beef and Cisco affiliates in Atlanta, Charlotte, and Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, talk a little bit about the standards that you must achieve to be in some of these grocery stores like Whole Foods.
One of the things that it was important for them is actually for us to document and comply or conform with their animal welfare standards. Fortunately, we didn't really change much. We just started documenting it. But basically what it amounts to is that one needs to be able to wean the cattle in a fence line weaning environment where the mama cows are on one side and the babies on the other, where they can touch through the fence. We've been doing that for 15 years because it really results in heavier calves at weaning because they have less stress. We also castrate the males, in our case at birth, but they need to be done in order to be a global animal partnership step 4 rated firm, which we are. We need to do that by the age of 3 months, dehorn if there's any horns involved by the age of 3 months. As one might assume, they also must never have been given any kind of a growth implant or any antibiotics either in the feed or in for illness.
So you go through all of these steps, and what's the reaction by the consumers?
Well, the consumer in Whole Foods sort of, they love it. They have a very aware population. Also, we think a byproduct of what we do, now we do control the genetics because we sell bulls. We buy those calves, mix them with our own. They're all raised on our farm, on pasture, and our mixture of corn silage, which we grow, dried distillers grain, corn, and some soybean hulls. But basically because they're always on pasture and they come in free choice to eat our ration, they're always laying around in a very, very stress-free environment. So we think all of that contributes to them having a low-stress life. They literally, you can see they seem to enjoy life just fine, and so that results in an animal that dies without premonition, painlessly, and provides an outstanding quality of meat. So the consumers benefit from the taste and flavor of our meat because of all the things that we do, from genetics through the free choice ration, but also with those cattle having low stress, which also benefits us selfishly in the fact that they don't get sick. Now we do feed a cinnamon, kelp, and garlic supplement as well as our beef grower minerals in addition to it's part of our ration, but it all adds up to animals that have superb health, low stress, results in a great eating experience.
Well, you've actually gone to some of these grocery stores and interacted with customers directly. Tell me a little bit about that.
Not some, all of them. I've been in all the Whole Food stores in the 5 southern states multiple times. They have me come in and do what's called a demo, and we take, in this case, our ground beef, and I have my grandmother's frying pan I carry with me, and they provide a cook stove and a little area near the meat counter, and then I cook up little hamburger pieces, and everybody that comes by the meat counter gets to taste our beef. And so by toothpick count, over the last 2.5 years, I've personally interfaced with about 42,500 Whole Foods customers.
Wow. Wow, but it's not just customers either. You're also talking to those in industry like chefs. Tell me about some of the chefs and their reaction to the meat that you're raising.
Well, the other thing we are is our meat is distributed by Cisco Atlanta, Cisco Charlotte, Cisco Nashville via Buckhead Beef, and Buckhead Beef also sells it. And so I've been, oh gosh, probably in the last 3 years in 250 establishments where we literally are interfacing with the chefs. We normally will take meat in, samples. I typically would like to go in sometime around 10 or 11 in the morning or around 2 in the afternoon because the chefs haven't eaten yet. And then since my mama taught me how to cook at an early age, we'll cook up something. It may be just ground beef, put a little salt and pepper on it, and then we have the chefs taste it, and then it's just, wow, this is the best stuff we ever had. So yes, we interface with them. We've got some restaurants now going, well, 4 years. Biltmore State, Nashville, North Carolina, which a lot of people know. All 4 restaurants, we've been in there 4 years, and our meat is good. And I do know the chefs. They know me. They will interface with me personally. And, you know, for those people that may hear this broadcast that are familiar with the chefing world, the sort of the playoffs and the Super Bowl is the Beard Foundation, James Beard Foundation, and one of the chefs in Asheville, North Carolina, the Grand Bohemian, cooked with our meat in September at the invitation of the Beard Foundation. And then another chef from the Ballantine Hotel in Charlotte, North Carolina, cooked with both our beef and our pork at the Beard Foundation in November. And from my standpoint, that's as good as it gets, because that's the Super Bowl of the chefing, when the Beard Foundation invites them to come up and they choose to take our meat to cook it. So that's...
Well, you know, one of the things that we want to talk about and that you've touched on is your animal welfare program and how stringent it is because of what you're doing with the different grocery stores and the different restaurants and chefs. But look at it, take a global look for me about animal welfare in the industry as a whole. What should customers know about animal welfare?
Well, the one thing that the real take home is this. All of the studies show that an animal that is stressed or not well taken care of is much less profitable than one that is in a relaxed environment and not stressed. So if they just look at the beef industry as a whole and say, well, are they good to their livestock, all the way from the farmer that raises the cow, that has the cow that raises the calf, all the way through the feeding environment, all the way through the harvest in the packing places, every single step is designed for very low stress and animal welfare. So you know, we do what we do, and other people may do a little things differently, but there's just I almost know no exceptions, truly, where the animals aren't well taken care of, because it's profitable. It's more profitable to really practice good, humane handling and high standards for animal welfare. Now, maybe some animals are in a confined feeding environment, and maybe some are on pasture, which in our case, since we're a Step 4 pasture-centered global animal partnership audited business, ours are always on pasture and in our case, they're not just grass-fed, but they get free choice access to our grain. But still, the whole industry, from the mom and pop cow-calf operation all the way through the biggest, animal welfare is the key to success. The animals do better. That's really what the consumer needs to know.
Steve Whitmire, thank you for stopping by Cattle Chat Corner.
Thank you.